Well, that was a cool stop. Hung out with a guy there named Zach, and we enjoyed a couple cigars. And he gave me some inside scoop here on the area and why it's so desolate. Apparently the cops have completely cleared this area out since last summer. That whole red curb there is new. No parking along any of the road. Apparently there was a guy that lived at the bottom of the hill there in the mobile home park that started a campaign to get rid of all the bikes because of a few bad apples running through there 2, 3, 4 in the morning, keeping everybody up. And now it's like you see it. Down at that little curb where you see online all the videos were taken and photographers and everything set up, you can no longer park there. Kind of a bummer, but I see both sides of it. We've got areas around us where they act like nuts too, and when people are trying to sleep, that's no good. These are really nice roads. They're just really short. Talking to the guys up there, they pretty much just ride a 1 or 2 mile stretch. That's like their road. That's where everybody goes to play. I always thought it was, hours and hours of roads and just big, a lot of stretches that people like to ride. But it seems to be little pockets here and there of just really good curves and sections, and they stick to that. And it's kind of like in high school. We would cruise little sections here and there. Thank you, bud. And we've certainly got those areas too around us. We have a route known in the area as the North Run, and there's a section in the middle of it that does have a ton of tight corners. It's all residential though. It's not like this in the middle of nowhere, but it's really fun to ride, and there are a lot of guys that will just do it back to back, turn around, do it, turn around, do it again, turn around, and just do that for an hour. That's about it. We just have the one area. That's called the Gobbler. Even going up these rather steep inclines, plenty of power in top gear, just to roll on, still accelerate. Barely, but accelerate. No need to downshift just to maintain speed. So it's got enough torque, nothing to complain about. Really tight corners. It should be no surprise, but this is way easier to go through than the Goldwing was. Really feel it connected to the road more. Ooh, lots of gravel. I remember scraping the pegs on the Goldwing on some of these here. I checked the tires, and man, really am taking it to the lean limit. There are no chicken strips on these tires, but not scraping any pegs. I think if you hear that, you're in trouble on this bike. Oh, what a view. That's awesome. I was hoping there was an overlook. It'd be great for a picture. This doesn't feel like it has a slipper clutch. It has a bit of a kick when you come down. Might be wrong, but if it does, it's subtle. For the price point, I doubt it does, though. Well, that's why you don't want to be racing around the blind corners. Just like in the Carolinas, sometimes shit's around the corner. So now that I have extended seat time on this, I definitely do have some hot spots. Surprisingly, it's a longer comfort seat than the Goldwing, at least for me. I'd say this is a good 3-hour seat. but I'm starting to feel it in my tailbone. Typical for me. If I get discomfort on a seat, that's where it manifests first. Just putting some pressure on my pegs instantly alleviates it for a little bit. I could use a little more width. I don't have much side support on the padding itself, so all of my weight is really concentrated in the center of the seat, and that's exactly where it's starting to burn a little bit. So who's this bike for? I think this is a very versatile platform. I would have no hesitation recommending this as a first bike, or anyone that wants to begin. It's extremely refined. Everything it does, you don't have to think about. There's nothing on this that you need to spend money on to fix right out of the box. It's not going to intimidate anybody. It's got enough power with my weight to be a heck of a lot of fun in, so far, all situations. Very nice power plant, excellent handling, excellent transmission. Mirrors are very functional, gauges are easy to read. This is going to be for a lot of different people. It's going to be great for anyone looking for a city type commuter. It's sipping the gas. It's crazy efficient. I've been out for hours running through, you've seen all kinds of conditions. I'm not even at half a tank. Now, I don't know how accurate that gauge is. I know some of them will get under half and then plummet. But this thing's reading in the 60s miles per gallon on its meter. That's awesome. You don't expect too much less out of a little twin. And I'm not full throttling it. You'd certainly get less if you were doing a lot of freeway commuting, at least high-speed freeway commuting. But you can't ask for more. Nice views, that's for sure. Back onto the freeways. Let's hope it's not too bad. But I'm not going to jinx myself. So about 60 is definitely the limit for where the wind noise starts to kick up, at least in the low speed, or I'm sorry, low position for the screen here. But one really cool thing about this is these two little vents here. They keep enough airflow coming through that I have a nice amount of breeze coming through to my face, and it makes a world of difference. I'm very cool. And I was right about there being a little bit of bar vibration here at freeway speeds. However, it's not bad. It's not bad enough where I would say your hands are going to go to sleep. It's just noticeable. Not a problem whatsoever. Other than that, the bike is very smooth here on the freeway. I've got nothing through the seat, nothing through the pegs, nothing in the frame itself. Yeah, here we go. I guess that's what you have to watch out for, is people crossing over without signaling. So I'm not going to race through here. Also, considering these aren't the best brakes in the world, I don't have the utmost confidence in a real emergency braking situation. But I do want to try to catch up to that guy in front of me. It's definitely safer going through as a small group. Unless people get back over after he goes through like he did. Whew! He is running rich. Stinks of raw gas exhaust. Wow. Definitely way better riding on this grooved pavement with a normal steering setup. None of that weird floatiness from the Goldwing setup. Given this insane traffic, I'm really shocked that more people aren't riding motorcycles. So let's give it a full throttle run here. See what it can do. So that was 60. Like I said, it's not going to win a drag race, but more than enough power for any kind of beginner, that's for sure. Whew, tell you what, right now I'm grateful for these endless red lights so I can stand up and get some blood flow to my butt. It is really sore. I'm, what, about 5 hours ride time right now. Had a bit of a break there mid-afternoon, or right around noon. So yeah, it's definitely past its comfort limit. I hope this unit does really well for them. It certainly deserves to, based on its own merits. I'll tell you the one thing, if anything, that's going to hold it back, and that's the lack of test rides. The Honda demo fleet that goes around the country is almost a blue moon event. And I'll tell you, it's even hard in my area where there's just tons and tons of motorcycles and dealers everywhere. It is very hard to find a Honda dealer willing to demo new bikes. And even I don't recommend that someone buy a new bike without testing it. Now, if you're a brand new rider, if you don't have your endorsement, you can't test ride a bike. You have to go by word of mouth and reviews and all that. That's understandable. But if you're buying a bike and you have the ability to ride, just don't. It's a real crapshoot. Well, there's our running average for this trip. All that canyon riding, the freeway, stuck in city, still averaging just under 64 miles to the gallon. That is awesome. That's on regular, not premium. So there you go, guys. There's my extended review of the 2018 Honda CB500X ABS. Thank you very much again to Honda for having me out and giving me this opportunity. Wish I could do this for every bike I review. Even though, I'll tell you what, my 20-30 minute normal reviews are pretty dead nuts on. Even after having a bike, even after owning a bike, or having a bike all day like this, really doesn't bring out too much that I don't figure out right away as far as how it fits me or how it's going to work. But it's still a lot of fun to really put a bike through its paces in all kinds of riding conditions that test rides can never really do. With the exception of Modus. That guy's crazy. Well, I'm going to turn this in and end the day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.